Hi kids, this is Mrs. Gouloff. I'm back to read to you chapters 13 and 14 today. I did have something that I wanted to share with you today. Winn Dixie has inspired me to do something, and oftentimes books can inspire you to make a difference. And what Winn Dixie has inspired me to do is to adopt and adopt a puppy. So I want you to meet someone. Ginger, come here. Come here. Ginger, come here. Come here, baby. Okay, so this is Ginger. Here we go. She is a rescue puppy. What that means is that she was in a shelter, and this particular puppy was in a shelter, yes, in Kentucky. And they don't keep dogs around very long. It was called a high kill shelter. They don't keep them around very long if they don't get adopted. She is almost 5 months old, and she is a mix of a Chihuahua and a Jack Russell. I think she looks more like a Chihuahua. Okay, say goodbye. Ready? Bye. All right. So that was Ginger. And by adopting Ginger, we kept her safe, and we're taking care of her just like Opal is taking care of Winn Dixie in the book. So if you get an opportunity sometime to adopt an animal and keep them safe, I hope you do that. And chapter 13. Me and Winn Dixie got into a daily routine where we would leave the trailer early in the morning and get down to Gertrude's Pets in time to hear Otis play his guitar music for the animals. Sometimes Sweetie Pie snuck in for the concert too. She sat on the floor and wrapped her arms around Winn Dixie and rocked him back and forth like he was a big old teddy bear. And then, when the music was over, she would walk around trying to pick out which pet she wanted, but she always gave up and went home because the only thing she really wanted was a dog like Winn Dixie. After she was gone, I would sweep and clean up and even arrange some of Otis's shelves because he did not have an eye for arranging things, and I did. And when I was done, Otis would write down my time in a notebook that he had marked on the outside: 1 red leather collar, 1 red leather leash. And the whole time he did not in any way ever act like a criminal. After working at Gertrude's Pets, me and Winn Dixie would go over to the Herman W. Block Memorial Library and talk to Miss Franny Block and listen to her tell us a story. But my favorite place to be that summer was in Gloria Dump's yard, and I figured it was Winn Dixie's favorite place to be too, because when we got up to the last block before her house, Winn Dixie would break away from my bike and start to run for all he was worth, headed for Gloria Dump's backyard and his spoonful of peanut butter. Sometimes Dunlap and Stevie Dewberry would follow me. They would holler, "There goes the preacher's daughter visiting the witch." "She's not a witch," I told them. It made me mad the way they wouldn't listen to me and kept on believing whatever they wanted to believe about Gloria Dump. One time Stevie said to me, "My mama says you shouldn't be spending all your time cooped up in that pet shop and at that library sitting around talking with old ladies. She says you should get out in the fresh air and play with kids your own age. That's what my mama says." "I'll lay off her," Dunlap said to Stevie. Then he turned to me. "He don't mean it," he said. But I was already mad. I shouted at Stevie. I said, "I don't care what your mama says. She's not my mama, so she can't tell me what to do." "I'm going to tell my mama you said that," shouted Stevie. "And she'll tell your daddy, and he'll shame you in front of the whole church. And that pet shop man is retarded, and he was in jail, and I wondered if your daddy knows that." Otis is not retarded, I said, and my daddy knows that he was in jail. That was a lie, but I didn't care. And you can go ahead and tell on me if you want, you big bald-headed baby. I swear it about wore me out yelling at Dunlap and Stevie every day. By the time I got to Gloria Dump's yard, I felt like a soldier who had been fighting a hard battle. Gloria would make me a peanut butter sandwich straight off, and then she would pour a cup of coffee with half coffee and half milk, and that would refresh me. Why don't you play with them boys? Gloria asked me. Because they're ignorant, I told her. They still think you're a witch. It doesn't matter how many times I tell them you're not. I think they're just trying to make friends with you in a roundabout way, Gloria said. I don't want to be their friend, I said. It might be fun having them two boys for friends. I'd rather talk to you, I said. They're stupid and mean, and they're boys. Gloria would shake her head and sigh, and then she would ask me what was going on in the world, and did I have any stories to tell her. And I always did. Chapter 14. Sometimes I told Gloria and the story Miss Franny Block had just told me, or I imitated Otis, tapping his pointy-toed shoes and playing for all the animals, and that always made her laugh. And sometimes I made up a story and Gloria Dump would listen to it all the way through from beginning to end. She told me she used to love to read stories, but she couldn't anymore because her eyes were so bad. Can't you just get some really strong glasses? I asked her. Child, she said, they don't make glasses strong enough for these eyes. One day, when the storytelling was done, I decided to tell Gloria that Otis was a criminal. I thought maybe I should tell an adult about it, and Gloria was the best adult I knew. Gloria, I said. Mm-hmm, she said back. You know what, Otis? Hey, stop. Be nice to each other. I have another surprise for you at the end of the story. They blew it. Okay. Let's see. Well, he's a criminal. He's been in jail. Do you think I should be afraid of him? What for? I don't know. For doing bad things, I guess. For being in jail. Child, said Gloria, let me show you something. She got up out of her chair real slow and took hold of my arm. Let's the two of us walk all the way to the back of this yard. Okay, I said. We walked and Winn Dixie followed right behind us. It was a huge yard and I had never been all the way back in it. When we got to the big old tree, we stopped. Look at this tree, Gloria said. I looked up. There were bottles hanging from just about every branch. There were whiskey bottles and beer bottles and wine bottles all tied on the string, and some of them were clanking against each other and making a spooky kind of noise. Me and Winn Dixie stood and stared at the tree, and the hair on top of his head rose up a little bit, and he growled deep in his throat. Gloria Dump pointed her cane at the tree. What do you think about this tree? I said, I don't know. What are all those bottles on it? Why are all those bottles on it? To keep the ghosts away, Gloria said. What ghosts? The ghosts the ghost of all the things I done wrong. I looked at all the bottles on the tree. You did that many things wrong? I asked her. Mm-hmm, said Gloria. More than that. But you're the nicest person I know, I told her. Don't mean I haven't done bad things, she said. There's whiskey bottles on there, I told her, and beer bottles. Child, said Gloria Dump, I know that. I'm the one who put them there. I'm the one who drank what was in them. My mama drank, she whispered. I know it, Gloria Dump said. The preacher says that sometimes she couldn't stop drinking. Mm-hmm, said Gloria again. That's the way it is for some folks. We get started and we can't stop. We can't get stopped. Are you one of those people? Yes, ma'am, I am. But these days, I don't drink nothing stronger than coffee. Did the whiskey and beer and wine, did they make you do the bad things that are ghosts now? Some of them, said Gloria Dump, some of them I would have done anyway with alcohol or without it before I learned. Learned what? Learned what is the most important thing. What's that? I asked her. It's different for everyone, she said. You find out on your own. But in the meantime, you got to remember, you can't always judge people by the things they've done. You got to judge them by what they are doing now. You judge Otis by the pretty music he plays and how kind he is to them animals, because that's all you know about him right now, all right? Yes, ma'am, I said. And them dewberry boys, you try not to judge them too harsh either, all right? All right, I said. All right then, said Gloria Dump, and she turned and started walking away. Winn Dixie nudged me with his wet nose and wagged his tail. When he saw I wasn't going, he trotted after Gloria. I stayed where I was and studied the tree. I wondered if my mama, wherever she was, had a tree full of bottles, and I wondered if I was a ghost to her the same way she sometimes seemed like a ghost to me. Okay, so that is the end of the 2 chapters for today. Gloria Dump had introduced Opal to the idea that even good people have done bad things before, and that Gloria Dump has changed, and she is trying to do better and be better, so that that's something that other people can offer, is forgiving someone and letting that, and that person needs to forgive themselves as well. So there is one important thing according to Gloria Dump, the most important thing, and everybody gets to decide what their most important thing is. So I want you to give some thought to that, what your most important thing would be. And since my friends spoiled my surprise, I was going to introduce you to someone else. This is Buddy. Hey, Buddy, say hi. Look. Okay, so all that noise in the background when I was reading, that was these two wrestling around. My Ginger, and this is my Buddy. Buddy and Ginger were both adopted from the pet rescue. They're the same age because they are brother and sister, although they look nothing alike. And the thing about Buddy is he smiles like Winn Dixie. And I'm going to get a picture of him smiling, and I'm going to put it on my Power School page for you to see. I can get it on one of these videos. I will. So thanks for joining me for the 2 chapters today, and stay tuned. There'll be more chapters to come.